there. NASDAQ's getting some steam.
Yep, she's pushing a little bit now. So I really want to see how we react up here at this call it 60 area. It'd be our overnight high.
Everything's pointing up except for Amazon.
There we go. We're pushing on yes here. You know, if we do the same type of thing as yesterday, we come back and retest the top of OR, that could be beautiful. I mean, if we look at from open and we come back down on golden pocket, at least on ES, it'd be top of OR. From open, a little bit bigger time frame here. I'm not going to count that wick, but yeah, we're through that too. So what I'm looking for here is just off of the open here, a few things. Seeing if we get a fib pullback. So just off open here, that would take us back on NQ down to this 26,020 area. But if we break through the 26,000s and give up the 990, that's what I'll be looking for. A short, if we gave that up. We could potentially look to enter a long on this pullback. But I'm going to give it a little bit of time here. Because that's not showing me strength. So we're going to give this just a little bit. If we break below 26, I wouldn't be surprised to see us come back up and retest 26 on the bottom of that OR. So if this does flush, and then we could jump in on that and catch a leg that way. And yeah, gap fill is right below us here, right at that 7,005 half gap, 7,010. So wouldn't be surprised to see that. It's one of the reasons I'm a little hesitant on jumping in along right here, even though this is a nice fib. Pullback on NQ. This could pull us right down. And that's kind of where I'm saying a little retest. If we break through these points of control would be what I'd be looking for the short. So there you go. Nope, there it goes. So there's the full gap fill right there. Retesting all of those points of control right there. Not quite to daily fair value on ES. I'm gonna run this here over on MNQ just so I have it in front of me here. Instant profit taking on that. So stronger bounce than I'd like to have to jump in a short, honestly, with NQ here. ES is the one really making the move. Okay, so if we draw this up now, we're looking for, say, the short draw. We're right at the daily POC. We're right at the halfway back. NQ is stronger than ES here, but this could be our next leg down. Still being patient here. Seeing if the halfway back on ES will line up with the double top on NQ. Problem is we're coming back up to above OR on NQ. Looking at VIX, it's not really giving me any signals. I can't have as much weight on that as I did yesterday. So here's our halfway back on ES, NQ, coming up to that double top. I might take a stab at a short here, potentially. Yeah, we're going to take just two contracts here. We're right at that 707, 37. I'm going to do about a 30-point stop on this guy here. So what we're looking at here is we're going to play off of, and our first TP on this one is going to be at 611. What we're looking at here is ES not breaking through that point of control right there, and it's mid of OR and breaking back down below. Now, if this continues to break up and invalidates this fib, that's going to launch us right through and invalidate this pretty quickly. Also on a double top on NQ. So we'll let this guy play out here. We draw up the long draw here. We'll be taking profit right at that 618. VIX is what was right at its support when we entered there. So as long as VIX doesn't break below this 2025 area, if it's playing the way it should play, got a little wall at 57 also that this would have to break through just looking at Bookmap. ES is coming back down here. We really have room down to about 980. Should be 990. Could be pretty quick. So especially if we can break this point of control here. So if we draw up this long draw here, I mean, we did just come to that halfway back. That would be the more aggressive take profit there. Even if we run our 007 just off open here. Let me anchor that from this last wave. So that's our halfway back on that last move right there. That would be TP2 on that. So ES came down, tested its 200 EMA and bounced. Don't love that for the way this is looking for this potentially being the top for the day. So if this gives up and just starts ripping back up, it'll be pretty quick on NQ, I would imagine. ES, it's right at its halfway back here for this move down. If this can hold and take us down back down to 7,000 on ES, should be good. We should be seeing, like I said, probably that 990 here. But if this holds this 200 over here on ES and pushes up, we're going to see a pretty big pop on NQ. Almost tagged out on that one right there. Look at VIX, still hasn't broken. So that just swept exactly 10 points from today's high right there. And so a lot of times I'll put my stops 10, 15 points above the high. We're still in the high, 2 points there, but it just swept the high. So, and also looking at Bookmap, we've got a big area of interest at 62. And so as long as we can stay below that, it should be good. Like I said, if this holds that 200 and launches up, then this play will be invalidated. But we're still in it. Still in it. Still hanging out just below that opening range on ES. So I do like that for this. And PST just shifted up. Got some more sellers stepping in that 60 level on Bookmap. So wouldn't be surprised to see us tag 60 again. So really, if we can break below our entry here, it'd be breaking that 21. There's ES right to golden pocket for that short. See if this guy holds. If this gets bought up through 65, we'll be tapped out. I'll be all right, and then we'll start looking for the next play. You're right in that golden pocket for ES. If ES breaks up through its OR, that's going to push us up here also. Just looking at Bookmap, it's really pretty neutral right up here. So we've got room all the way up to 6,100 on Bookmap. Oh, there we go. We're tagged out. So there we go. We're going to hold off here for a little bit. See if we can get up to the 6,100 on NQ. Still in that short draw on ES, so NQ is definitely stronger right now. Go pushing again, really looking for the 6,100 up to that first deviation. It's right at that 707 on ES here. So if we did break below this 45, I hope we didn't get top ticked out there. But if we break below that 45, be looking for shorts again. So just have a sell stop order in for that break of 45. But it's got to break it. VIX is just really playing in this range all morning here. So, I mean, to be long, I'd love to see it. Usually I'd like to see it break this range here. But, you know, looking at yesterday, we just kind of ground higher. For shorts, I'd like to break that 40 here also. But we'll see. We just have our sell stop in. It's the break of the daily point of control. There's some Bookmap data that I'm looking at that lines up with that. Also, it might have just been a little retest just to push up to this 100 level. It's 26.1. There we go. There's that 85. So definitely stronger on the NQ side than ES here. And so that's really what I'm watching here is if we're getting a little overextended on one, I still would like to see this hit 26,100, come up to this daily initial premium level, our first deviation. But ES is just stuck in its opening range. We're stuck in this short draw here. And so seeing which one is going to pull the other here. Break of the 65, and this could be good. So we're testing the 9 here. So I'd like to see ES break the 12. I'm still leaning towards we're going to see this first deviation and daily initial premium here. We do have some sellers stepping in. So yeah, break of the 65, and we should be good here. I am going to move my sell stop order up to 56. I'm going to break that 21. Only thing I'm cautious of right here is the potential long draw on ES. We are coming right to that halfway back, which could push us up to today's high. And just looking at Bookmap here, we do have to break down below 57, 58 range. So that is why the sell stop is at 56. So we haven't been tagged in yet on that wick. We were not tagged in. So it was close by 2 points, but not tagged in yet. If we do a little baby short draw there, we're right at that 618707 here. So a few things line up with that. We need to see ES not respect the halfway back. We need to see, this is a nice fib pullback on NQ if we are going to come down. And then just looking at the orders on Bookmap, we're going to have to break 60, really break 60 in that 58, 57 area. So that'll take us to that 56. If we break that, we should see 40 pretty quick. So back to the top of that OR. I'm going to actually put one of the orders there to take it off and de-risk once we get there. The only thing we're really contending with here is the point of control. We're going to have to break through right there at 47. If we draw out just from our session here, halfway back on the whole session is going to be at 34. And then if we run off 007, we would actually be triggered into a short right here. So I'm being a little bit less aggressive than that with, I want to see this break the 21. EMA, we are below the 9 here. And then just looking at Bookmap data also. So we technically would be in right here on 007 at 63 if we're running just that. Oh, there we go. We're in. Put stops just a hair over high a day here. So retest that POC. We got wicked in right there. I'm looking for this to come down to 40, de-risk, and then we'll really tighten up the risk on this guy here. So right at that pullback right here, this 50 pullback. Just sitting on this here. Yes, right at that 707, or right at that 707 of the little short draw we've got going right now too. Got a little wall up here at 85, but if this breaks through that, then we're going right to this 100. That'll invalidate that. Dun, 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 dun. Almost tagged right there. Almost. Looks like we're going to get tagged. Nope. Tagged. No dice. Damn. So. She is pushing. Just wants up. Going for all-time highs, it looks like. Flip over here. We are not far on cues here. I just flip to the daily. Yeah, we're almost there. Where are we? Not even 1% away. We are right there on SPY. ES is at 43 for all-time highs. So we got 20 more points on ES. Is at 26.1. We're kind of talking about hit on Bookmap. So she went right there. Got hooked in on that short. Bottom ticked on that. So not an ideal entry. With that one, we did come down and test our daily point of control. Probably should have waited to break that, not just test it on that move there. Looking back, lessons learned, I guess I'll take it. Right at this double top, first deviation, so we did hit that. Nice to see. Again, we don't have much more room to go to all-time high on ES. I will say on my funded right now, they do have a pass one, get one on their rapid accounts. So I think that's going for a few more hours if you're interested. Dun, dun, dun. Really looking to see if ES can break up and out and push towards all-time highs. Just being at that double top. NQ just grinding higher and higher. I want to say we are through. Yeah, we're through that fib target right there. I like the shorts, but I'm going to hold off just because I've been 2-0 or 0-2, I should say, on the shorts. And if this thing, I'm looking at this to break 70, this is what happened yesterday too, where you get in as it's supposed to break a level and it would just keep grinding higher. So I'm going to hold off for a little bit here. If we get like a real break here, then we can jump in that, but I'm just gonna hold off a little bit here. We will have first hour levels here coming in just a few minutes. If we draw these up manually, we're going to be at an upside target right here. Upside target 1. As long as this POC stays right here, it could shift up a little bit if we had some more time at the 73. See if we can break through this top on NQ. ES is pushing just a little bit further here. VIX is just stuck in a range. Almost 200 on NVIDIA. That's insane. Got a lot of sellers above us at this 125 and 140 area. We've got buyers at 80. And there's your push. So everybody's getting absorbed up. So nice push up to 130 here. Next stop could be 140. And we're only 10 points from all-time highs on ES. So we are close. We're very close, right to that first deviation on ES. Pretty even distribution of buyers and sellers up here right now. So wouldn't be surprised if we see 150. That could come pretty quickly. That's our upside target 1 on the daily. Get those first hour levels soon. We're going to be at definitely probably upside target 2. I think, Mike, I think you're right with up to 70-40 here. We're going for that all-time high. I definitely could see that. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. They just want to drive it up. Yep, Trump's bumping it. So again, I'm struggling jumping in long just with VIX. I mean, that's same as yesterday. So I just know I'm struggling with that right now to jump in. This this pullback here. That would have been a nice little opportunity to do that. It wasn't a pullback enough that I was looking for to do it, but we came to that first deviation. It looked like we were selling off there. That's kind of when I said, like, I want to get short here, but I'm not. I'm glad I didn't there because we just ripped. So it really just tested that level here. That first deviation here, this could be a pullback to catch the next leg up potentially here. Yesterday, we had the same type of thing where, there's a few things I'd be willing to go long on. If we have a big enough pullback that it makes sense to go long, and we never had that yesterday, and that's what it's looking like today also. And I have a hard time just jumping on as we're just ripping up without that proper pullback. So then you look for those pullbacks, and they're not as deep as they should be, and so they have to be just little scalps. And so that's where I struggle with these trend markets. Are what gets me. It happens every now and then, and so just knowing myself, it's one of those things I struggle with. It's just yeah, it's just get long and hold your sack. That's what it is right now. I mean, just we're going up. Just grab on somewhere, ride the dips. I have a hard time doing that. So I'm usually looking for a fib pullback or some reason to have a better price to get in. And you see this right here. You're just going right up. Same story as yesterday. So, I wouldn't be surprised, if we hit all-time high today. I really wouldn't. I'd like to see it. But that for me is not a reason just to jump in along and say, oh, we're gonna go up here. One little tweet can change it. That's the scary thing right now. I think JT was even talking about that with, I think it was like an 80-point candle in 15 seconds this morning. Like, how can you adapt to that? All right, we've got our first hour levels in. Let's flip those guys up. We know on the daily we're at upside target 1 on NQ. Yes, we're at initial premium. And there we go. We're at upside target 2 also on our first hour levels. We got our halfway back all the way down at 2660 on this move. I don't see that happening. Not this morning anyway. And VIX just moving sideways. Mhm. Just looking at this here, we did just break below the POC on ES. Again, kind of see if we can get an actual pullback, see if we can catch the next leg up type scenario. Looking at Bookmap, we have room if we do go down all the way down to 50. So that would be our halfway back. I would be really surprised to see that with how strong this is right now, but that could be a nice opportunity if we do see that to get long. Yes, selling off more than NQ right here. Halfway back on ES would take us to 7,018. Again, the pullbacks haven't been deep at all lately, so we've just gotten little tiny micro pullbacks, nothing that you can do a fib off of, and then we just keep going higher. That's what was really the theme yesterday and looking like today, right there, where we just didn't get much of a pullback right there, and straight back up. Okay, guys, I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm just gonna go top off my coffee. 1 second here. So really looking for this. Man, if we could get a nice pullback here and this holds around the 70 area, that would be a beautiful long. Again, hard time. I want to jump in a short if we started to break down, but I have a hard time doing that just because our pullbacks haven't been what they had been the previous weeks. So we'll see how this reacts. That would also take us to the whole daily POC on ES. From this last wave, we did just shift up. So give me like 2 minutes. I'll be right back, guys. And there is a little sell-off there. So let's see if we get actually down to a nice fib retrace here. Right to that first deviation. Nice and quick. We've got room down to 75, just looking at Bookmap here. It's got to break that 110. So we break 110. 75 is really the next area I'll be looking for. There's yes. Little bounce right off that first deviation here. At about a 40 point. So halfway back of that last little move. Definitely a lot of buyers, strong support stepping in right there. Lots of support stepping in on NQ at 25 and at 100 here. So right on that 21 EMA. It's right to that 707, retesting that point of control on ES here. Typically, this is where I'd be looking for a short. Just kills me. We got VIX grinding higher too. We just tested outside of that range. So yeah, this is typically where I would be looking for a short. So really seeing if we can break out of this double top here. Right at that 707 on ES. VIX still pushing up. So close to that all-time high. That's where it's tricky here. Bookmap isn't really pushing me either direction either. We are coming into that profit taking time. So it'll be interesting to see if this actually gives us a proper fib pullback or if profit taking, quote unquote, pushes us up higher. If we draw just from this last wave, this fib here, I'm just curious. Yeah, we did come right to that halfway back. Take us to 170. Lots of buyers at that 100 level. So if we broke that, we would actually see our pullback down to about 65, I believe. Just kind of toying with this double top here. There we go for new highs right here. Another double top on ES. There's VIX coming back down into its daily range. Dun, 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 dun. Looking for this to push to 170 and see how that reacts here on NQ. I'm just interested to see if we can break back below this point of control on ES. We are only 10 points away from that all-time high. Coming back down a little bit. We're just testing back below that point of control on ES. Yeah, Mike, that's exactly what I'm looking at here, is if we can get our pullback here. If I draw this guy up here, that's going to take us right up to, I mean, within on ES a couple points of all-time high. And that's where I'm looking for. Okay, can we get back down to the 718, give us a 10-point pullback, and then we can push up to all-time high. And NQ is still stronger than ES here, just pushing. where ES is just below that point of control here. I mean, the most beautiful thing here would be to let's see some profit taking. Let's get us down to the 718, top of OR and ES, halfway back, and push to all-time highs. That would be the absolute play if that could happen. If NQ did decide to go down, we've got room right down to that 100, even this 110 area. So I'd be looking for this to maybe have its first little pit stop if this does decide to break a little bit. I'm coming back up. New daily high here on NQ. Oh, there she goes. She's pushing. That's up to that 70 level that just passed it that I was looking at. Dun, dun. So right up to that second deviation there. Yes, still at its first deviation, still just moving sideways. A lot stronger on NQ. Let's take a look. These 4-hour candles on NQ, man, they are just unreal. I want to say ES was like at 10%. This is a almost 15% move in the last 2 weeks. And yeah, all-time high here, 410. Not much more to go there. Mark that off too. We are close. ES is struggling to make new highs, and we've got NQ just grinding higher here. So be interesting to see, especially we've got profit taking here that's we're coming up into. Be interesting to see if this just continues to grind higher or if we actually do see that pullback. I'd love to see that pullback, but who knows? Morning, JT.
I was trying to play DJ for a second. I'm sorry.
Oh. Just a grind higher day, just like yesterday.
Yep. One of those things, man.
If we got a fib
For
pullback,
those of you,
we would
go
actually,
ahead, Miles.
yeah, if we got a fib pullback on ES, we'd come up to all-time highs if this actually did a proper next leg up. If we got a 50 pullback, the next leg up would take us to all-time highs. But we haven't had any real proper fib pullbacks. We're just grinding higher. So it's like our dips haven't been dipping.
I was going to say, as far as what I just posted, we're kind of looking for, a moderator for the server. We're looking for people helping with content, whether editing and or, contributing. We're not necessarily looking for any analysts or anything like that, guys, at the moment. But at the same time, we're pretty much open to anything. I just think Drew has got a ton of work on his shoulders. And in order for us to be efficient, we need to add some more people to the team so that we can grow this thing. Because at the end of the day, we have a pretty nice thing here. I think, and what Drew is able to implement in these live sessions day in and day out is something that you really don't see anywhere else. With the level of discipline and consistency over time, most people cannot do that. I mean, I don't know very many servers that have people that are doing this day in and day out. Sure, Drew's not making, tens of thousands of dollars a day, we're not showing that. And guess what? His expenses are down and he's profitable every month. So that's just not normal in this space. And I want to make sure he's got enough help.
No, I
At the end
appreciate
of the
that.
day.
No, and like you said, growing it's important. So would love to do that. And I think it'd be important. I want to get this out to as many people as we can.
JT, answer my text message. What does that crap mean?
Answer my text.
Creatify is a dick about their consistency, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh
I think
shit!
you need to have
Yeah. You texted me too.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think you got to make a little bit extra.
3,000.
Okay, so it's just one more. It's practically one more day. Just hit that target, right?
Whatever your biggest day is, divide that by divide it by 0.4.
Yeah, I got it here.
That's the total amount that you need to make.
Okay, yeah, it's only like $300. So, I just have to wait.
Yep.
Or can you hit it? Can you hit it today within those first 3 days?
Don't do it today. It'll. Well, is today your highest day?
Today's considered the third day that I started those 4 accounts. Only one account, because I was experimenting, had the highest.
Yeah, I would just wait till tomorrow. You only have to make $335. Otherwise, if you make it today, you're gonna have to make more tomorrow. So just make $350 tomorrow and call it good. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. That I just figured that if you just wait one more day, it divides it by those 4 days, it should be fine.
Yep.
Or technically tonight, when it resets into the 4th day.
You just have to make that extra money.
It's just based upon your highest day. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So your highest day is 13.
Yeah, it's only that one account. That's what's so weird. It's just one, and then the other 3 accounts, I'm $200 away from hitting the goal, and it gets funded. So I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yep. Just make $300 tomorrow. You'll be good.
Yeah, and it was Sunday, Drew. Remember when you were showing me how to work that copier crap?
Mm-hmm.
And you were telling me you have to had each contract. If not, you would get that error message. that's what happened. One of them just kept on going, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I forgot to close it."
Okay. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, you just have to make another $350 roughly. No biggie. What I always do is on the Tradeovate side, if you log in on the Tradeovate app, like this. I don't know. Are you looking at my screen or not? I'll show you real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Here on the Tradeovate app or on the whatever, the web, go over here to these settings, hit risk settings, daily profit trigger, and then just set it to 40%. So on that one, it's going to be 1200 on yours, and then hit save. It'll auto close all your positions when you hit $1,200. And then I think it's 1200 on that.
Yeah.
Anyway, just set that to 40%, whatever it ends up being, whatever the rules are, and then you never go over. That's what I always do.
Oh damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's good.
So this will close it. Like if I say $2, let's see here. I better not lose $2 here. And then I'm gonna go short. Watch here. $2 closed it right there. So I have made $2 exactly today. And now if I go sell again, it won't let me do anything. I can't buy or sell.
Oh wow.
Okay. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
auto locks you out there. Sometimes it's give or take a little bit depending on your size, but then like I'm gonna go up and change this or just turn this off. So I should be able to keep
slippage
trading.
could happen.
Yeah. So it won't be perfect. Like that was, I've never seen it hit $2 on the dot. That's pretty sweet. But there we go. So that's how you do that. On every eval, I do that. That way I don't go over and don't have to monitor them if they're running, you know?
So if you pass your account, do you have to hit those targets like that, the 40% consistency?
Yeah. Yeah. Which it depends
For
on the
that
account.
term, yeah.
Yeah. On the account you got, I believe. I think you got growth.
Oh no, but when you go live.
Yeah. I think on growth, I think you do. I mean, I know you do.
On growth, I think it's 35%.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have growth because growth are one way to pass.
Well, these aren't one day to, it's 40% consistency. Oh, so you have select. What? But you have to make $3,000 on select now? I thought it was 2,500. I've always had to make 2,500.
Oh.
I don't know. Okay, maybe they
I just
switched
saw
it.
the 3K rule and I was like,
Okay.
this is better than that whole drawdown, that daily drawdown.
Okay. Well, you'll have that on the until you get your buffer.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
So it's better if I just go in and select that, so that way
Oh, you know what? No, you don't have consistency period on those once they pass. So no, you won't on a select. You're good.
Got you.
Yeah. So you make all the money, but it is a trailing drawdown for the first 2,100, I believe.
No, there isn't. Just end of day.
I don't think so.
No, it does trail on the funded.
Yeah, it switches the rules. So it's end of day on eval,
Oh.
and then it trails, but it's only till 2,000. And once you hit 2,000, then you're golden. Then it's end of day, but it trails until you make 2,000.
If that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's how I understood it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted because I didn't want that end of day, which was like 1250 or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yep. So you'll like it. It's just build up the buffer and then it'll be a normal account.
Yeah, no. It works out perfect because I mean, like in the evening when I trade gold, I hold my position longer and then it hits my targets and it's perfect.
Yeah, especially if you can let it run. Like you'll like that account. And then you're going to be able to pick daily payouts or something else. Just pick daily payouts.
Yeah.
Well, here's a little baby pullback. Let's see if we get our actual pullback. If we go off of this last low to the high, we're right at that halfway back. So it could potentially bounce here. But I've got room down to 125, looking at Bookmap 100. But this could be our little sell-off, just a bounce. Pretty weak profit taking if that's all that is. But that is right to the halfway back from that last wave.
So yeah, if you guys have any interest in helping us out in any sort of way with any of that stuff, let me know. You know, it's not going to break the bank or anything, but at the same time, you know, getting in here early with us and trying to get this thing to grow will certainly be beneficial in the long run for you. I promise you that.
Yeah, we will be making it right with people for sure down the road as we grow with, I'd say, preferential treatment and stuff, especially as things come out. Like, we'll hook you up. Yeah,
Well, I think
Says
it's
says that she can help you with her infant laptop. I mean, her iPad. She can probably do some like cartoon stuff.
yeah.
what kind of cartoons are we talking about?
Not your anime porn that you watch.
Oh man. Well, there's our 50 pullback. Let's see if this this pushes us to higher highs here. Just off that last little wave. Again, not enough of a pullback for me to enter longs. And I'd really like to see this retest fair value high and then go
There's a longer term POC sitting at 145. I don't know where that's drawn from, but it's there.
okay.
So I think you got to get, and that's near the low we just made. So I think you got to breach that.
Yeah, we do. That's where we've got a lot of people sitting at 140 right here. And a lot down at 100. A lot. That prior low over here. 110.
I think I would.
There's your
I'm going to
bounce.
be completely honest.
Yeah.
With you. Good.
No, go ahead.
I just feel like the pullback not going to happen until this afternoon. Like you might get something this afternoon, but you might ultimately still finish at the high if it's anything like yesterday. And one thing I've also noticed, you guys use the model. If you pay attention to the model at the early part of the week, it will continuously do the same thing the rest of the week. Meaning, like a couple weeks ago, somebody brought it up. I think it was Team Money. We were breaching fair value highs and then like look above and failing, or look below and failing fair value lows repeatedly. And so you will see, like last night, we went from Globex full premium to Globex full discount. This morning, we went from European full premium to full discount. Like we're doing a lot of we're repeating the process each of these days. And usually it's just something I've noticed is that the market likes to continue those patterns. So if you see, like, for example, how we reacted yesterday, if it's anything like how we're reacting today, then you want to pay attention to that because that's what the market is doing. That's how it's acting today. So, like, for example, if tomorrow it still kind of acts the same way, then you have to take that with, you know, a little bit of a bias to say, okay, well, we're still doing this. So I have to lean on the fact that we may continue to go up if we get past these levels. Just little things like that. I mean, and this goes back to my post this morning, you know, you get in your head about certain things, like you feel like, hey, there's no way that we're going to keep going higher here. Like me personally, I have a restaurant. I see what it's like here on the street. I see that people aren't spending as much money. So I'm thinking to myself, it's not good. And then bad news comes out and you're like, yeah, you're thinking that things will probably go down. Well, guess what? The market's going to stay far is going to be completely disconnected to reality far longer than you can try to make it work.
Mhm.
So you're better off just trading what you see on the charts and just focusing on that and being objective as possible with that. Because when you go into that thought process of like, you think that this is going to happen because of some outside thing that's going on, that's not good. And then the other part is like when we have glaring, obvious news that is like, hey, we're doing a peace deal, or hey, we're doing these tariffs, psych, we're not doing them anymore.
Yeah.
You don't want to, you don't want to go against the grain with that. You want to look for the long opportunities in that scenario. Yes, because the market is clearly end in one direction or not. One small thing to look at with that is like, for example, if you go and look through, I believe it's the same thing on TradingView, or if you just look at the ADV, I think it's money sign ADV, or if you just type in ADV,
Yeah, I've got that up right
it's
here.
it's the number of stocks that are up versus down in the New York Stock Exchange.
That's the crazy thing right now. We're at 41. Like, this is
that is crazy.
I
will give you that.
No, that's where I'm like, this makes no sense. I've got VIX going up. I have AD down.
Well, where did we start at today?
About here, and then it went to 250.
I'm not watching you.
So oh yeah.
What number? What number was that?
At open 0.
Yeah. Okay.
And the furthest it went down was 280, and then it's just sat flat here. Like
so, yesterday. Where was it at yesterday?
1,100.
Yeah. So anything over like 1,000, pretty much don't want to go. You don't want to go against that. You need to go against.
Yeah.
Because that's more than half of every asset is going in one direction.
Yep. But that's what I mean today. Oh my, I mean, like, yeah, if we're at 1,000, it's going up. We're at 47. That makes no sense. VIX, just like yesterday, grinding higher. It makes no sense. You look at so many things. It's like, what are we doing here? Because you look at every internal thing, bank dumping. Okay. Bank's dumping. NASDAQ's going up. AD is flat. NASDAQ's going up. ES is going up. VIX is going up. Like, what the hell's going on? You know, it's just, it makes no
you got a lot
sense.
of mixed signals, and
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's mixed signals here, and that's where in my head I'm like, okay, well, we could at least have a healthy pullback since everything's going down. Yeah, it's front running, Mike. They want to tap this all-time high, I believe, but it makes sense to have a pullback to get there, but that doesn't matter right now. And all it takes is one tweet, well, you saw that this morning, JT, a tweet or whatever, a Truth Social thing, whatever they call it.
A comment. It's the comments. Yeah. It's just on a.
Yeah.
And
but Drew, you gotta also take that the banks are reporting earnings as well too, so everything's going to be going up and testing the highs until you know it's going to be going into like possibly to the summer where it's going to be flat. So these Wall Street guys have their targets that they want to hit 72 to 7,500 before midterm elections. That's where we can end up seeing a big dump. So don't go against the trend. If you see that we break those EMAs, take the long. Don't expect a big giant pullback.
Yeah.
I guess my thought process is like you're not. This is harder for you, Drew, the last 2 days, for example, is because you're not going to get like the bigger pullback. So you might get a pullback, but it's going to be a scalp, and you're going to have to just take it if that's what you want to trade. You don't want to sit there and hold on to it for like a lot of points in this particular type of day or that particular type of day. But even with today, right? Because 41's telling you pretty much. You're not really sure with that number, right? So you can't really buy too much into like holding all day with that, but
Mhm.
you might have a scalp long and you might have a scalp short. But it's literally like being stuck in fair value. It's the chop zone.
Yep. Well, and
Yeah.
that's the problem. Like, so with scalping, I do more size. And I can't do more size because we get these stupid candles like you saw. So it's like, oh my gosh, you can't, you know what I mean? So that's
Well, you know what?
it's
I
adapting.
think
That's the
the
hard thing.
reality is though. Here's the last part. There is a position called not trading or not getting in a position
You know?
that a lot of us do not practice. And you know, from your standpoint, because you're live trading, you know, you
Mhm.
may feel like, hey, I got to put on a position. Guys, listen, if you could sit there and say there's no trade today, guess what? That's actually smart. You know, and guess what? There might be one, there might not be, but you are better off stepping back and saying, look, this is not working right now. Maybe we'll go over something else. You know, maybe we'll go over other things right now because I just don't feel set up and I don't feel comfortable taking a position with the way that all these things are going in different directions. That's the reality. You know, you're sitting here telling me like, hey, this is up, this is down, this is up, this is down. It doesn't make any sense. And you know what that tells me?
No trade.
No trade.
Yep. And that's the hardest thing is doing no trade, especially when you're live trading and you're showing stuff. It's like you feel like you're obligated to do something. And that's the hard thing. I will say with live trading is like, oh, you want to do something because
That's true.
it's I don't want to say it's like work, but it's like if you don't show something, then you feel like you did nothing type deal. But nothing is a position. That's the hard thing with this.
Yeah, and that's I guess what I think it comes down to. Like, if we can get everybody to kind of buy into that reality at times, you know, and that's okay. You might see somebody else, hey, they made money over here. How come we would make any money?
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what, guys? It's not about making the money. It's about protecting the capital and not losing it. You know, living to fight another day. You'll have those opportunities where it will be beneficial to you. So I just think, you know, given your stance on how well you've been doing from a discipline perspective, adding in that extra layer of like, hey, we got to make sure that we're not in a essential chop zone where we're trying to force situations, you know, and just saying like, hey, this is just not the best environment right now. We'll come back tomorrow and it'll be good. We can work on some other things at the moment to try and get things done. But, you know, in reality, this is not the day to put on risk.
Yeah, I agree with you, JT. I mean, like, I'm like really close to like funding those other accounts, and just because I'm a couple $100 away, I'm not going to risk that. I'm like, you know what? If I don't like the play, and that's what I've been doing this morning, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to go with it because I don't want to risk, you know, just for a couple $100 when I can just wait another day and wait for the proper setup and wait for things to develop. I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Yeah. And that's a hard thing too. That's hard.
Oh, it's very hard.
It's brutal.
I mean, how many of us have been just a couple $100 away from a payout or passing an account only to watch it go all the way the other way? And it was just because we didn't want to wait for a proper setup. We were just trying to make it for that goal.
Yep. You're chasing the
And
money,
we
not
feel
the
so
setup.
Terrible. Yeah, we feel so terrible.
Oh yeah. It's a bad feeling because it's like I was disciplined for this many days, this much, made all this money, and then because you're impatient, gone.
Exactly.
Like, you know, we've all done it. I think my worst one, I was like $5 away from passing and he fell and I blew the whole damn thing, you know, because $5 in your, I'm $100 down with some micros, throw some minis at it. That'll fix it. Never does. Now that was a hard habit to break.
Add one more.
Yep.
Add one more.
Now you're full leverage.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Wicks you out, blows the account, and then it goes your way. It's like, oh, if I'd only held my original position with 2 micros or whatever. Yeah. It's a hard thing to break.
Exactly.
And okay, like, you know, also today, this is when we normally see our profit taking and stuff. There's been nothing, just nothing. We had a little tiny bit right here. That was it. 30,
See, you don't feel
37
comfortable
points.
taking a long.
No,
That's okay.
no. I'm definitely not confident taking along when I'm looking at VIX and ad and no. And even Bookmap. We've got such a huge wall above us at 200.
Yeah.
If that gets eaten up though, you just keep flying up. I mean, there's our all-time highs right there. I mean, look how close we are on yes, we're only 7-8 points away.
We're just absorbing point of controls, you know. That's something we've talked about before. Where just point of controls keep getting bought. That, yeah, you just gotta get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also, again, one of those like patterns that you can see that repeats itself. So
Yeah, and this is second day. Gap fill, not even no. Gap fill did get tagged today. Yeah, we wicked it real quick. It was instant. That's what happened there. Yeah, I was gonna say yesterday we didn't hit gap fill. Today we wicked it and just ripped. So
you know, this morning was a little interesting. Off the open, I was watching it and kind of just the little whipsaw. I think we did hit a big target off of off the low, and then we got a pullback. And then once we held it over the opening range, it just took off.
mm-hmm.
That took, I don't know, not to about 950, I think, or maybe a little bit before that, but I'm not looking at the chart right now. But
No, we're just still grinding higher here. And yeah, you're right with you know, I'm always looking for an actual pullback. And you know, we were talking like, yeah, we'll probably hit all-time highs today on ES, but I never got the pullback. Never got what I wanted. So it's like, well, never got in. And then, you know, you're looking at the other things like ad and all that, and yeah, it's not doing what we want. VIX sure isn't doing what we want, but that was the theme yesterday too. Yeah, ad is only at 99 right now. I mean, it's just, that's pretty pathetic for a rally day. I mean, it really is. You look at all these other, you know, this Wednesday, we're at 2,000 on ad. Things were ripping. Last Thursday, 800. We're at 600 on Monday, 1,100 yesterday. We're at 100. 100 doesn't mean anything. If you're looking at that just for like a sense of direction, there's our 200, 6,200 right there in Q. Yeah, we're just buying up all those POCs, just absorbing it all and just moving on up.
mm-hmm.
It's nonstop. So see what happens here at London close, and then I'm going to be done for the day. And we'll see how tomorrow looks. Hopefully it's a little bit more of a nice full retraces and all of the things lining up. That's why I mean, yesterday was hard too, where things were just not lining up, but not as bad as this. This is more challenging. At least yesterday, you could kind of follow along with ad. VIX was all over the place, made no sense. Bookmap was looking better yesterday, a lot more clear. And then the levels were playing out good yesterday too. And especially in the afternoon, it looked a lot better. But yeah, this is just kind of all over the place for me right now with all of the signals are pointing different directions. Obviously, we're just going up, but I've got stuff saying down also. And so it's just challenging. I have no problem going or getting on along if things lined up and if we had proper pullbacks, but I haven't had that. So
I gotta hop off. I'm pretty busy over here. But,
Okay, sounds good.
If you send me a DM, I will respond, and we'll get with you. We'll set up a meeting with me, you, and Drew, whoever it is, and we'll try and get this working because we really want to. We really have a lot of ideas, but it's just hard to implement those with what we got right now.
No, thanks, JT.
Good for
All right, let's see how this goes here. We're right at the London close. Technically, if we're playing the closing range, we would be in a short right here. So, you know what? Let's try it with just one. We'll do 2 micros. So I'm gonna get in short here. Basically the break of that 89, and then I'm gonna put my stop just at 207. We'll give this one last shot on the short here. Lines up with how that trade is structured, following the rules of that trade. So we'll give this a whirl. So basically I'm looking at that last candle close here. And right now, technically we'd be taking it off. I'm gonna let this thing go here. So our closing range is about 8 points. We'd be looking for at least 8 points. We're at 15 here. And above the top of that, I would give it that same amount of room. So there's about 10 points above. So, you know, if we were doing this by the book, we'd take that first one off right now. Usually I'd be entering about 5 contracts usually. But we're going to see if we can get a little bit of momentum here. If this breaks through 70, we should see a little move down. So I'm gonna, I'll leave my stops here for now. Saw 10 points. So looking at this, if this, it came close to that POC on ES. So what I'd like to see here, in all honesty, is a little fib pullback, retest the bottom of that closing range, push down to 166. And we'll take that first one there. Then have a runner if we can. So a lot of times if it stays below one side of this range, it can retest it a couple times, but sometimes you can get some really nice runners off this. This used to be my main trade. It's very black and white. So I like that. See if we can come down on ES, test out that 29. So there's 10 points again. You know, just going to take this first one off at about 18 points here.
Don't even. Oh,
Test out that deviation there. All right. You know what? Let's take this guy here. We'll just take it and de-risk. And we're going to put our stop at the top of this range, right at that 200. Should be good. Take a little baby win today. At the end of the day, I'll be fine with that. So look, the reason we kind of took there is if we drew up this last leg here, that's our halfway back. And so when we go back through the day, that's all we've been getting on our pullbacks, if that. So from this to here, 50 pullback bounce. This last wave from the low to the high, 50 pullback bounce. That's where we are right now. And so that's why I wanted to take that one off. So 50 bounce. I do want more. I mean, just being honest, I want more. But that's what all we've been seeing for the pullbacks today. So we'll take what we can get on that. We're up 15 points here. This may be our 50 pullback bounce and go for all-time high. I mean, it's the reality of how this thing's been stair-stepping up today. So I'm okay. We caught about 15 points here. Yeah. I've got my stops at 200. If this is a 50 pullback and bounce, we're going to be stopped. It's a break even
Oh.
trade basically, but we are below the EMAs here. Let's flip over on the 2-minute. We're retesting that 21, so retesting the 9. If we can break this 46 and really 40, this could be a nice little sell-off, and we'll give this some room. So that's what I'm looking for. So we'll see what can happen here. Mhm. So right now we're coming up to the daily point of control on ES. So I need to see that break. That actually would be a 007 short entry here on ES. That break of 29. So if we broke that POC, and that's where, I'd like to see this 50 pullback. That's going to retest kind of where we had some support here at 7,020. And then that's where we could look for a bigger move up. And you see here, this is bouncing right at that 50 again. So that's all we get for our little pullbacks today, potentially bouncing right off that 50, from wave to wave. So we'll see here. I've got my stops just at high a day. That allows us to actually have a pullback. So we just came back to our entry, golden pocket on this, and I'd like to see if that can take us down to this 157 area. It very well could. That was a nice bit of sellers coming in there. So there's not a ton of volume, I will say, at any level until we get all the way down to 100.
No.
There's some volume there.
Yeah, I keep.
Likewise, there's quite a bit of volume sitting up at 190 also on NQ. Right at that daily point of control, buying it up. Lines up with the daily bias here. So if we had stops at break even, we'd be stopped here. Or very close to. But I need to give this thing a little bit of room if we get a proper fib pullback. If we come through and smoke through the highs, that's fine. That's how that goes. Just hit our halfway back on ES. There we go, off that halfway back. See if we can break this point of control. NQ's got it right at 172. ES, we just keep touching it, testing below. ES is right at 730. Just holding that point of control. So that's what I really need to see this. Honestly, I need to see it break this 166 area. Break that little low that we had, 168. But break through that POC on ES. We got ad still sitting at 74, which is not that's not strong in my opinion. And VIX is just chopping at the top of its range here. Back to entry on that one contract, that runner. Again, got my stops up here at 200. If we got stopped, it's going to be just a hair negative. Not quite just a zero wash, but just a hair over. Just right at that golden pocket here. So that may be our just a 50 pullback and straight up to new highs of the day. We'll see. We're close. Got a lot of buyers stepping in at 195. There we go. We're out. All good there. So that's strong. A lot of strength coming in right here. So let's see. That nice little 30-point bounce. Nothing crazy there.
Drew, what's going to trigger you to go long? Where would be your position wanting to go long?
I need a pullback. I need a better pullback than that. So I don't know that I don't think I'm going to get it today to go long, but I would go long if VIX was lining up, if ad was lining up, something. I have to have a couple things lining up, and I haven't had more than these little 50 retraces here. So I could just say, yeah, I'm jumping on the trend and looking for breakouts. But just the history of that with me, I always get burned. Obviously, it would have worked great today and yesterday. But that's just my history. It's like, oh, I'm looking for a breakout, just with little tiny, not full fib pullbacks off of little move. I do a lot better with big picture moves, and we just haven't had anything the last 2 days with that. So, yeah, I mean, I would need a pullback more than what we've had to go along, if that makes sense. I know it's not like here's the number, but yeah, it's just really the perfect long today would have been. Let me clear this out here. We hit gap fill here. We came up and we came down right to the 50 pullback right here on ES. That would have been the right long to take today. That would have been the good one. Even from this low to this high, yeah, I didn't get a pullback enough right there either. So this is the one that I don't know if you were on earlier that I was looking for to get into a long here. It was this, and I said, yeah, if we come back down to this halfway back and retest the top of the OR, I'm in longs. And it never did. It never came back far enough to do that. So
you want a 50 or a 618 for you to be able to go long. So if that was your 0.3 where it touched it, then you wouldn't have taken that.
No, and I didn't. No, exactly. And the 50 lined up perfect for me right here. So we already had first hour levels that had come in, and I was looking for us to retest first hour fair value and top of OR and hold that, and then look long. And it never happened. So yeah, and that
just study this, Drew.
and that takes us,
know where it touched.
Yeah, that fib target
That-
takes us to
that-
all-time high.
0.382.
Uh-huh.
Just study that you could have taken that, because look at where it tapped it and then it just ran after that.
Yep.
You could have put your stop loss at that 50, and or even the 618, because I saw right now how much you just gave back, wanting that long that was just happening right now.
Mhm.
If you do the math, it practically comes out to the same, that you could have just taken that long as well too.
Yeah. Well, and the hard thing is typically, and so when I'm looking, I've always struggled looking for continuations, and reversals have been what just pay over and over for me. I'm typically not even entering at that halfway back. That was me being more aggressive than normal for a long, knowing we're in an uptrend. So, usually I'm looking at the 618, the 707, and a POC shift type thing to look for a reversal or even a continuation. I want the halfway or the 618. So even going up to that 382 is a lot more aggressive than I'm used to for front running something,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's just kind of how the day's been. And yesterday too. I mean, yeah, we've gotten these little tiny pullbacks. We've gotten half pullbacks if we look wave to wave, and that's really just over and over and over what's been happening today. So, it's a harder market for me to trade when we're just in a trend. It really is. And this is what I loved with selling options was you just we're breaking up, and you just do sell puts today, and it's beautiful. So, it's applying that to futures, where with futures I've been a lot less of a trend trader and more of reversal and catching pullbacks, and maybe you get a breakout. And, it's been harder with the sizing right now because you have less runners. And so you make less. And yeah, I mean, this would have worked out great if we just said, okay, anything, break of first hour, OR, break of the OR on the 32nd. Like there's so many ways to play this. But at the same time, I have to be true to my strategy and what's worked the last, years. So this is day 2 of red for me, but that's coming off of a almost 2-month streak of green. And so, I wouldn't say my strategy's broken. It's just these market conditions.
No, it's not. It's just uncertainty
Yeah.
right now with the war and what's happening, and Wall Street is getting ahead of it, saying that we're done with this, and they're just riding it to where nothing makes total sense until we get to the summer where it's doing nothing again, and that's where everything's going to work again.
Yeah, and I love the
So-
summer session. I do great in the summer. So it's just like, okay, these are the market conditions. How much do I want to adapt and shift my mind? Because I don't know, but I'm sure we're going to get back to something a little more normal than this, where you don't have to have every signal working, but you have to have a couple, at least for me. And right now, we're looking at VIX, we're looking at AD. VIX is stuck. AD is stuck. We're doing nothing. I'm looking at Bookmap. It's neutral everywhere. So all my signals that I use are neutral.
The only thing that's working, Drew, is those EMAs. If you look at it and how it's, the moment you see a breakout, like you can actually take it and ride with it.
Yeah. Yep. And that's okay. So there's one thing working. I want more than one. That's the hard thing. I want a couple confirmations. I want actual fibs to work. I want, the EMAs are working, but I'm running more. I use those more as a confirmation, not an entry. And so it's hard, and then how much do you want to shift? Because maybe this goes on for a week or two. Maybe not even that long. Maybe it's just a little 2-day thing where we just rally, and we just go right up to all-time highs and we start acting a little more normal. But, definitely need to look at these. I'm looking at these last few days like, okay, how do I need to adapt if this is what keeps going on? The other thing we look at, if we just go to daily charts here, look how many. Okay, we have one red day. Here, I was looking at this the other day. So this is just ES here, right? But it took 45 days from where we are right now to sell off. Okay. I lied. 61 days, 62 days. Okay. To sell off that much. We made up that much room in 2 weeks here. Not even. or 15 days. Yeah. So, or I guess business days. So yeah, 15 days, we have made up what took 60 to, so it's 4 times the rate that we've increased here. And so it's like, this is insanely bullish the way this has been moving. And you look at this and we're just kind of slowly stepping down versus a rocket ship up. So this is a big increase. You know, we haven't seen an increase that aggressive for quite a while. It was back in April here, based off of that time frame and the percentage increase. So we haven't seen that for a long time, and so that's where it's really hard. You know, and we even look at this. We haven't had a pullback on this whole move up, not a pullback, and so that's where it's hard to jump in, you know, on it. Also, when you're even just looking at daily, you know, so.
Sorry, buddy, it's not gonna happen.
I know. It's
not. Everyone's thinking that we were gonna get that big major correction. I knew we weren't gonna do it until it comes too close to the end of the year. You knew that too, and I mentioned that for last year into this year. I said it's gonna be single digit growth. These guys are gonna hit their targets early, and after that, that's where you can expect it.
Yep. Well, and we came right down on these levels I had drawn out. This yellow and green. Those are my 2 levels I had drawn out, and that's exactly where we that's what we hit perfectly. It was this August, September, really July through September range that I had drawn that out back then. And that's exactly where we hit, especially after we broke these prior lows over here, the daily chart here. So you're looking at a lot of time. But, you know, once we kind of came into this range, this is where I was saying this is where we'll bounce. That's exactly where we bounced. The hard thing is, you know, with how I like to trade, I like a little pullback, and I like it to make sense, or even like this. You know, we had little daily pullbacks, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And we walked our way down. There's no walk in this one. It's just rocket. So yeah, it's challenging. It's been challenging for sure. And, you know, I think, Mike, you said it, just go long and just hold it. Yeah, that works great right now. If you can do that and you're good with it, you're doing great right now. And so it's just tricky. It is tricky right now, for at least how I like to trade, with a little bit more, I don't want to say fundamentals, but, you know, I like to have things line up. You know, I like to have more. I like to have more than one thing. I like to have 2, 3, 4 things lining up. I feel good about it. It's not there right now for me, unfortunately. It'll get back there though. I mean, we even have ad coming down right now. Like it's at 45. It's just,
yeah, but ad has to break below 0 in order for you to go really short.
Yeah, but it's hardly green right now. That's the thing. I mean, like if we're going to green market, it's 1,000, 1,500. We're at flat. 39 is flat, and it's coming. So
it's going to be a choppy day. It's going to be literally just either a slow grind up, or it could be a choppy day.
Yeah. Yep. And same with VIX moving sideways. So those things aren't telling us anything. And yeah, we're just right here sitting, not quite to all-time highs.
Look at $VOLD. Where's that at?
Vold. Just a sec. Dun, dun, dun. Oops. $50,000.
Yeah, see, that's the other one you want to save on there, because that right there will give you your stock exchange purchase volume. So you put that one with ad together, that can tell you your trend, how we're going to be actually going. As long as it stays above 0 and where we're at, then that's where you can always, you know, expect a continuation of a slow grind, you know, with some choppiness. So if you compare that one, those two, as well as with ES, that's where you can actually see if you're going to be getting your giant pullback, or what the trend is going to be, your continuation. So like if you look at, you know, 2 days ago, you saw where we were just buying up, and you saw that. You could have just been watching this, and you could have been just seeing the trend. Yesterday is the same thing too. Towards the end of the day, it just really, you know, got bought back up. So this is where you want to just look at it and question it to see if we're going to continue the same thing. And if you look at it, we have one giant, you know, buyback at the end of the day. And then yesterday is the same thing too. So if you want to just wait, it looks like the pattern is going to be happening that at the end of the day, we will be getting, that next, jump back up. So not to say that it will happen, but based off the pattern, it looks like it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other one you want to be able to know as well too with the trend. Add this one, and you can see where your trend is going to be, happening for the rest of the day. If it breaks below 0, then that's where you want to be able to just say, okay, now we're going to have somewhat of a correction or a pullback, and that's where you can actually take your short and be able to go a little bit longer, hold your position longer.
Okay. Yeah.
But while those are happening, at above 0, don't expect a giant pullback. Just expect a pullback. Somewhat of a healthy to the 0.382, and then that's where you can continue with your direction. Long. If you want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now it's just tricky. Like, here we go. Like, is this gonna be another 50 pullback? Let's see. So we're gonna draw this up. If this is following the exact same thing, we're gonna go to 191 and bounce. I'm done for the day with taking trades, though. I'll say that. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see here. That's our bounce point. If we get it, if we break below, dun, dun. Came right to that 618. Mm-hmm. It's interesting if this thing actually breaks here. Could be the nice little pullback, but it's not been the case all day. And we have buyers sitting here at 190. See if we can push up to all-time high off of that right there, or if this is maybe it for the day.
Yeah, that right there, Drew, you saw where it bounced off of the 618.
Mm-hmm.
It's holding that level. If we cross those EMAs, that can be your new indication that. And it looks like it.
Well, we're testing the 9 right here on.
Yeah.
And we're above it on NQ.